Every Kenyan knows how I stood on this particular matter. Kofi Annan actually warned us about The Hague. And me and President Kibaki spent nearly 8 hours in Parliament trying to convince our colleagues to vote for a local tribunal. Unfortunately, 2 of our colleagues who are now in The Hague are the ones who led the campaign against a local tribunal. Unfortunately, I am the one who is now being accused of having taken people to The Hague, because nothing could be further from the truth. I do not want to eliminate any kind of competition. That's why I would rather have my brother on the ballot. But I know that it will pose serious challenges to run a government by Skype from The Hague. I know that it's not practical. Thank you.
Honorable Moita.
My plea is to spare a thought for the victims, the 1,300 people, Kenyan people, innocent, who were murdered, who were killed, leaving behind relatives, the many women and men who were raped. Let us spare a thought for the victims. Let us also agree that we cannot continue with a culture of impunity. But having said that, the way to tackle the issue of impunity is to go to the highest levels where it is to be found. And I must say that as a lawyer, having read the Rome Statute, I know because the ICC cannot handle the cases of everybody or accused persons, jurisdiction is limited to those holding the highest responsibility. A Safina government would revisit the issue of jurisdiction. The Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, and he has not asked me to hold his brief, was not a presidential candidate. If you are going to charge 6 people, you must begin with number 1, number 2 to number 6. You cannot begin with 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I wonder whether there was blinking on the part of the office of the prosecutor. The Safina government would like to revisit that so that those holding the highest responsibility perhaps go to the dock there, the others can be dealt with here in accordance with the law.
Are you talking about presidential candidates and therefore the colleague to your right, Raila Odinga? It should be in the list?
Wow. 2 people were presidential candidates. It is impossible. You cannot persuade my mind or the minds of many rational people that the 2 candidates did not know about it. It's only these other 4 Kenyans who are facing the charges there, and the 2 candidates did not have a clue about it. That is an issue I would want to see investigated. As a Safina government, we would revisit that issue.
Honorable Odinga, your response to that?
That is a most irresponsible statement that ever was ever made. Because my friend needs to know that investigation was carried out by a commission which was appointed through the Serena process, led by Justice Waki, which then produced the list of names which were handed over to Kofi Annan, who was the leader of the process. And then that list was handed over to Mr. Ocampo. Me, I don't fear, because I have nothing to hide. I know exactly what I did. And I know that I was not responsible. And I would be very willing to go to The Hague if Honorable Miti would want to take me there.
Yeah, Martha.
I just wanted to disprove that the 2 principals actually pushed for the local tribunal. I was Minister of Justice then. The entire cabinet passed the bill, but when I reached Parliament, they left me with the baby. The 2 principals, in spite of my pleas to them, failed to come and persuade members. They merely came to vote, and in their full view, there was rebellion, cabinet pushing people to vote, to refuse to vote for the local tribunal. So to put the record straight, the 2 principals did not stand in Parliament and persuade their troops to vote for the local tribunal.
And one of the principals is here, Raila
right
Odinga.
Here with us.
Yes.
Yes, you know, I really just want to jog the memory of my dear sister here. That first we had a joint PG meeting of PNU and ODM, co-chaired by President Kibaki and myself in the old chambers, pleading with the members to agree to vote for the local tribunal. This is on record, even the Hansard will bear us out, that we tried as much to persuade all the members to vote for a local tribunal. But the clarion call was, don't be vague, let us go to The Hague. Unfortunate.
But Prime Minister, why is it very difficult for a lot of people to believe your position on the ICC question? The common perception is you put a front that looks like you support a local process when indeed you wanted your opponents out of the country.
In fact, Linus, we first set up a cabinet committee on ICC, chaired by the late Professor Saitoti. I think it was the former Attorney General. There was also Tula Kilonzo, James Orengo, Amason Kingi, and so on. They went first to Geneva, then they went to The Hague, where Mr. Ocampo told him he was not interested in coming to Kenya. If Kenyans can agree to set up a local tribunal, the ICC would not get involved. So we tried everything possible. The second time we went to the cabinet, when Martha had already resigned from the government, it was shot down in the cabinet. And the two who are now in The Hague led the campaign in the cabinet to shoot down the proposal to set up a local tribunal.
Yeah, finally on this question. Okay, Honorable Kenyatta.
I think there's a discrepancy there because he just said cabinet passed it. It was rejected on the floor of Parliament, so we couldn't have led an onslaught in cabinet because I think we were all together in cabinet, we approved it, and on the floor, I think Martha is quite correct, that on the floor there was complete confusion, there was no guidance, and as many members of the ODM team, as many members of the PNU disagreed with the position. So it was not, as my brother Raila would put it, that he mobilized his troops to vote for a local process, because his own troops rebelled on that particular position with regard to this document.
30 seconds.
No, the troops that rebelled from ODM are troops who were loyal to my friend William Ruto, and whom he had told to vote against it. Yet the troops who were loyal to me voted for a local tribunal to be set up here. But then I was saying that there was a second attempt after Martha had resigned from the government by Mutula Kilonzo. He redrafted the bill, brought it to the cabinet. It was not approved. It was rejected in the cabinet through the intervention of my friends.
Are you satisfied with that?
I think the Hansard record and voting record will prove that it was actually not that way.
Thank you.